first, fast, accurate. You're watching WSBT 22 News at midday.
Voter.
Election workers sworn in, ready to help you cast your ballot.
It has been a large turnout today.
Your vote deciding the future of the country.
I pledge to always put country above party and self.
As your president, I will fight for you every single day with every breath in my body.
Election security and safety a top concern.
That is confidence in our elections, and we are running safe and secure elections here in Indiana.
Your 2024 campaign coverage right now on WSBT 22 News at midday.
Polls are open right now across the country, and here in Indiana and Michigan, all eyes are on the heated presidential election, where polls show it is a tight race with razor-thin margins. Plus, we have a long list of state and local races. WSBT 22's news team has team coverage this midday. Anchor Juliana Ferrari is on her way right now to Indianapolis to cover the big governor's race. And WSBT 22's Nick Outhoff is in Elkhart County, where voting machines are back up and running after failing this morning. We begin our team coverage, though, with meteorologist Abby Wepler. Abby, you might be dodging the rain to cast your ballot today.
Yes, we are getting big windows of dry time, but the thing you will not be dodging today, the wind. Look at these flags blowing behind me in South Bend from our Storm Alert weather camera provided by Four Winds Casino. We are under a wind advisory for all of northern Indiana until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Wind gusts during this time will make it to 45 miles an hour. If you've been outside at all today, I'm sure you have noticed those gusty winds. These are sustained winds currently, so we have sustained winds anywhere from about 15 to 20 miles per hour, but then we get those wind gusts, and those will be well over the 30 mile per hour the next few hours, and then they will slowly drop as we make our way into tomorrow. So a windy afternoon through the wind advisory, and then we start seeing, of course, those wind speeds lighten. Here's Storm Tracker radar. So the farther west you are, you're getting another round of rain. We have some sprinkles moving through the area otherwise, but I'm going to widen the view. There is much more rain off to our west, and the steady rain is going to pick up, especially by the evening commute. Temperatures, it doesn't feel like early November. Lots of 60s behind me. At a time we should be in the 50s, so if you are heading out, raincoat, not umbrella, because of the winds. And look at the evening commute, how that rain chance goes up exponentially. We'll talk about what that means for the rest of the week in minutes.
All right, thanks, Abby. One Elkhart County vote center is back up and running after voting machines there failed earlier this morning. WSBT 22's Nick Outhoff is at New Hope United Methodist Church in Elkhart County. And Nick, volunteers say every polling machine is back up and running right now.
Yeah, Kristen, the voting machines are back up and operational, but wait times are at about an hour. I want to give you just a quick look right now at the lines here. So I spoke with Chris Anderson, Elkhart County Clerk, on the phone about the issue. Anderson says it took the technicians a few hours to arrive and fix the issue. He did not explain what the problem was with the voting machines here. Volunteers at the voting center say if you are planning to vote here at New Hope Unity Methodist Church, be prepared to wait. One voter says she has no problem waiting over an hour this morning to vote.
But we got in, got right in line. They offered us coffee or a cookie, and we just the line just kept kind of moving, and it really didn't stay still for very long.
Now, just a reminder, the polls are open in Indiana till 6 p.m., and if the voting center does close and you are still in line, you can still vote. You do not leave the line. In Elkhart County, I'm Nick Outhoff, WSBT 22 News.
All right, thanks, Nick. Voting is also underway in Michigan. This is video from this morning of busy Milton Township voting site. This is the first year Michigan has opened early in-person voting. That change is already having a major impact. Close to 20% of registered voters voted before today.
The mail-in ballots, those will get counted in with all the people who show up today, so we'll get all those ballots counted up this evening. For the people who did the early voting, the county is holding on to those numbers, and they will add that on to the numbers that we report to the county this evening at about 9 o'clock.
Voting locations in Michigan close at 8. You can still register to vote in the state if you haven't already. Former President Trump casting his ballot just minutes ago in Florida. He was in Grand Rapids last night for his final rally before polls opened. On the Democratic side, Vice President Harris already mailed in her ballot. She spent yesterday in the battleground state of Pennsylvania. That's just one of the key swing states we will be keeping a close eye on tonight. The latest CBS News polls show Vice President Harris and former President Trump basically tied in all 7 battleground states. There is concern in Ohio and Virginia, where there was an apparent misspelling of Mr. Trump's name. State officials say it will not invalidate a voter's ballot. Michigan is one of 7 key battleground states to decide in the presidential race. The state's voters will also choose a new senator. You're looking at the candidates you'll see on your ballot. Polls show it will come down to either Republican, former West Michigan Congressman Mike Rogers, and current Democratic Lansing area Congresswoman Elisa Slotkin. The seat is open with the retirement of longtime Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow. Indiana also has an open Senate seat to be decided today. The candidates are Democrat Valerie McRae, Republican Congressman Jim Banks, and Libertarian Andrew Horning. This is for the seat currently held by Senator Mike Braun. Braun is giving up the Senate seat to run for Indiana governor. It is a 3-way race for governor with Democrat Jennifer McCormick and Libertarian Donald Rainwater vying for your votes. WSBT 22's anchor Juliana Ferfari is on the road heading to Indianapolis to cover the race. And Juliana, you've been covering this race for more than 6 months now.
Yeah, we are on the road right now heading to Indianapolis to cover the governor's race. Now, this is an open seat as term limits have forced the current governor, Eric Holcomb, to the sidelines. Now, Republican Mike Braun is giving up his Senate seat for this race. Meanwhile, Democrat Jennifer McCormick used to be the Republican superintendent of public instruction, and this is the second run for Libertarian Donald Rainwater. Now, WSBT 22 News has been taking you to Indianapolis multiple times to give you a closer look at this race. We have been there as the candidates debated. We have taken your questions to get answers, and we will be there tonight as those votes come in. Stay up to date on air and online at WSBT.com. Reporting live on the way to Indianapolis, Juliana Ferfari, WSBT 22 News.
All right, thanks, Juliana. Congressman Rudy Yoakum is looking to keep his seat representing Indiana's 2nd congressional district. The Republican is facing off against Democrat Lori Camp and Libertarian William Henry. We're following 2 congressional races in Southwest Michigan for 4th and 5th districts. In the 4th race here, Republican Congressman Bill Huizenga is looking to keep his seat. He's being challenged by Democrat Jessica Swartz and Curtis Clark of the U.S. Taxpayers Party. This is for the district which covers Southwest Michigan from the Benton Harbor, St. Joseph area northward and eastward. And here, Michigan's 5th congressional district, Republican incumbent Congressman Tim Walberg is facing challenges from Democrat Libby Urban and James Bronk, a Green Party candidate. This is the district that covers every southern border county from Lake Michigan to Lake Erie. Now, we sat down with all 9 of the candidates running for Congress in our area. You can watch our full in-depth interviews with them by going to our WSBT 22 YouTube page. Whether you live in Indiana or Michigan, school board races are on your ballot. So take out your phone and scan that QR code on your screen to go to WSBT 22's Operation Education team. Our team is breaking down these important races, showing you who is on your ballot and where they stand on the issues that matter to you. All voters in Indiana will see this proposal on the ballot. It is asking whether the state's constitution should be amended to remove the state superintendent of public instruction from the line of succession for the governor. The question is on the ballot because the exact title no longer exists. The position was changed 3 years ago from an elected to an appointed and renamed the Secretary of Education. Now, this is just a small portion of all the races WSBT 22 News is following. We'll have updates all day long on air and online. And when the polls close tonight and results start coming in, we will have those scrolling at the bottom of your screen. 2 people are recovering this midday from an early morning shooting in Elkhart. Police got the call just after 4 on the city's southeast side. Police say they found 2 men with gunshot wounds in 2 different apartment buildings, one on Middlebury Street and the other on Monroe Street. Both men are expected to survive. A suspect has been arrested. No word yet on what led up to the shooting. The defense is calling more witnesses to the stand in the Delphi double murder trial. They're trying to cast doubt on Richard Allen's confessions to killing teenagers Abby Williams and Libby German. For the first time, Allen's daughter and half-sister took the stand. During some of Allen's confessions, he also confessed to molesting family members. Both of the women denied that. We'll have the latest developments from court on WSBT 22 News first at 4. Parts of Niles are under a boil order advisory due to a water main break over the weekend. Here are the areas that are impacted: Ballard Hills and Rolling Hills areas, North Phillip Road, Platt and Hant Streets, or anyone who had a water outage on Sunday. Testing will be done over the next few days. Strike now over. Still ahead at midday, the agreement that's being reached between Boeing and its workers.
Wind, rain, and warmth. That's the story of this election day. Most of us are dry right now, but you can see the breezy conditions behind me. As we look ahead to this evening commute, though, you're going to need the raincoat. I'm going to time it out for you when we come back.
Now, your accurate storm alert weather forecast with meteorologist Abby Wepler.
Windy and mild on this election day with some rain in the area. You can see wet roads behind me in Mishawaka from our storm alert weather camera provided by St. Joseph Health Systems. The flag is just getting whipped around today with those gusty winds. Right now, 67 degrees and a south-southwest wind sustained at 16 miles an hour. We have rain moving into our western communities right now, but if you look closely, it's a bright green. The brighter the green, the lighter the rain. That's what we have right now. I'm going to widen the view. So we're waiting for a cold front to move through. The chance of rain will go up by mid to late afternoon, and it really looks like by the evening commute that rain will be widespread and likely. Here's Storm Tracker radar with the widest view. So yes, you can see all that moisture still off to our west. It's slowly tracking east. So the farther east you are, it's going to take a little bit longer for it to get here for you. The farther west, as I just showed you, we already have some rain here. Tropical storm Rafael. So this is what we expect to keep an eye on as it makes its way north and towards the Gulf by late week. So this is Wednesday at 4, and then you can see still around a Category 1 in the Gulf Friday morning. It could weaken a bit as it makes its way along the Gulf shores, something we're watching, but this would be the weekend where they still could have some storm surge they're going to keep an eye on. Texas, Louisiana, for example, within that cone of uncertainty. It is on our radar to keep an eye on, but again, not until later this week should it make any sort of landfall or any really big hiccups for us in the states. 67 in South Bend, 71 in Fort Wayne, 66 in Chicago. Look at the 40s. There's that cooler air we will be tracking for you tomorrow behind the boundary. Very mild, though. Would not be surprised if cities like Warsaw, Elkhart, Sturgis, if you make it to 70 today. It is already 69 in Dowagiac, Benton Harbor, 64 over in LaPorte, where you're seeing some light rain. Winds coming from the south. These are sustained winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. But look at the wind gusts. So this is, for example, at 2 o'clock, lots of wind gusts in the mid to upper 30 mile per hour range. Then that cold front moves through, and as it pulls away, we are not looking at gusty winds tomorrow. We just need to get through the rest of today. So windy with a slight chance of rain becoming more likely late. Temperatures will stay in the upper 60s. After school forecast looks the same. Rain likely. Maybe you're heading to the polls after work. Maybe you're heading because the kids have activities. We do expect more widespread rain in this 5 to 7 p.m. time frame. Here it is on Futurecast, and you'll even see it's picking up on the same thing. Here's 5 o'clock, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. We see most of this rain push through before midnight tonight. And then tomorrow at best, we could see a brief light lake effect rain shower. That would be about it for your Wednesday. I think the bigger thing you're going to notice tomorrow is how much cooler it is. Highs will be in the mid to upper 50s tomorrow. Much closer to where we should be. Upper 50s again for Thursday with dry conditions, and we look ahead to that weekend forecast. Rain develops Saturday and into Sunday. I know Notre Dame has a football game. I know it's the weekend. Maybe you're trying to get yard work done for all the leaves that have been knocked off. Watch what happens. As the day goes on Saturday, we start tracking that rain. We'll keep an eye on it and time it out for you even closer, of course, with all those outdoor activities for Saturday. Today, a few showers becoming likely late day. Windy, mild, 60 67. Tonight, rain is most certainly likely through the evening, but it's still going to be a little breezy out there. The winds die down overnight. 47 as we turn colder. Speaking of turning colder, you'll notice it tomorrow, upper 50s, and then that sticks around through Thursday, some 60s for the weekend. But yes, we do see rain developing on Saturday. Not all data agrees as to how soon it gets here, and then it lingers at least into the first half of Sunday.
And today has been a rainy day. We need the rain.
We do. It's so dry, but at least it's not pouring rain if you have to stand outside. But the wind is something else too.
Yeah. What a day.
It is. I'm telling you. Of course, election day, right?
Right, of all the days. All right, thanks, Abby. The cooling thing that's made in Indiana. Next at midday, the machine that's made in our area that could win a state competition.
You're watching WSBT 22 News at midday.
Benton Township is warning of elevated lead levels in the tap water. According to our news gathering partners at WSJM, at least 40 water service lines will have to be replaced. Benton Township officials say more than 100 service lines near the Benton Harbor border may contain lead pipes. Homeowners within the impacted areas will soon receive a letter from the township. If you think you may also have lead in your pipes, contact local officials. The Boeing strike is now over. Thousands of striking workers will return to work tomorrow after voting to accept the company's most recent offer. This ends the costliest strike in the U.S. in more than 20 years. The new deal includes an immediate raise of 13%, raises of 9% for each of the next 2 years, and then another 7% raise in the fourth and final year of the contract. Bond Technology in Elkhart is taking the lead on welding technology. Its new machine is now part of the annual Coolest Thing Made in Indiana competition. The idea is a huge welding machine to safely store nuclear waste. The 15-ton canister welder is the first of its kind, permanently sealing shut canisters of nuclear fuel before they're buried more than 1,300 feet below the ground.
What's advantage for that for us is that what you see behind me on these machines, all of these parts are manufactured locally. So all the talent it takes to design, weld, machine, assemble, wire, program, it's all available in this community.
A champion in the Coolest Thing Made in Indiana will be named next month. Our check on Wall Street this midday finds the Dow is up about 374 points at 42,168.
Are all ribs created equal? No siree, and we have a dish that proves it. We're a nation that loves our baby back and spare ribs, and that's whether they're dry rubbed or slathered with barbecue sauce. Here in the test kitchen, we think short ribs are one of the most overlooked cuts in the meat case. They're called short ribs because they're short in length, and they come from a cut of beef called the short plate. You see, the short plate is located right next to the flank and the brisket, so you know whatever you make with these is gonna be good. So let me show you how to make some amazing short ribs. We started by dredging these in some seasoned flour and browning them in a heavy soup pot. Once they're browned, we add some cut up carrots, celery, and onions, along with a can of condensed beef broth to add a nice rich flavor, some water, a bit of fresh garlic, and a bay leaf. Then all we do is cover it and let it simmer for an hour and a half or so until the meat is fall off the bone tender. You see, the meat gets super tender while it cooks, and all the flavors from the veggies simmering in the broth create a sauce that is incredibly delicious. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our braised country short ribs so you can serve your family what we think is the best of the best. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tender as can be way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
A lot of weather on this election day. It is windy, it is mild. Rain becomes likely by the evening commute, much cooler than by tomorrow, and the winds die down, and we're keeping an eye on that weekend rain chance.
And the latest news anytime with our WSBT 22 News app. Our next news is first at 4. Have a great day.